No, solo eso necesito. No, it's not the box.
More than 150 years, Ascension.
Today's presentation of the Gainbridge Super League And here we go. The second half of the Gainbridge Super League season is about to get underway. The spring half in decidedly unspring-like conditions here in Jacksonville as Carolina Ascent visit Sporting JAX in a matchup of two of the top three teams in the Gainbridge Super League. Here at Hodges Stadium, along with the former national championship winning coach, Becky Burley, I'm Cole Pepper. And Becky, this is a great way to get the second half of the season started. Sporting JAX, top of the table, Carolina Ascent, third in the table, and ready to make a charge.
Well, you just jumped 2 feet in right from the start. This is going to be a really fun matchup. I'm excited.
All right, let's take a look at how these two teams managed their way through the first half of the season. Starting with Sporting JAX, the only expansion team in the Gainbridge Super League, finished the first half with the best record in the league thanks to a hot finish. 7 wins is the most in the league, 25 points the best in the league. And these two were the best at their positions in the first half. Caitlin Clark's chosen as the midseason goalkeeper of the year. Ashlyn Puerta, both the young player and the player of the year. And Stacey Balem's team, 5 matches unbeaten to finish the first half, 4 wins and a draw to get to the top of the table. And the player to watch for Sporting JAX, who else than the leading goal scorer in the league, 18-year-old Ashlyn Puerta, who has been remarkable here in her rookie year.
She has been amazing. I mean, to have the start that she's had, if she can continue that in the second half, man, what a first-year pro.
11 goals, 13 won the Golden Boot Award last year in the Gainbridge Super League, so we'll see how it plays out. As for the Carolina Ascent, coming off of last year having the best record in the league overall, tied for third in the league during the first half of the season. 5 wins, 20 points. This is a veteran team led by Audrey Coleman, who has 2 goals and 4 assists on the season. They have not been quite as efficient as Phillip Poole would like, but they've been very good on the road.
This is a very, very good team with a lot of experience and really well coached. So this is going to be a really good matchup to watch.
Player we'll be watching this afternoon, this evening, is Mackenzie George. 3 goals and 2 assists, and a real leader on this team. She was all-league last year as a midfielder. This year she's playing up top.
You know, Mackenzie can just do it all, and I think she's been a real impact player for this team and will continue to be in the second half.
It's Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent to kick off the second half of the Gainbridge Super League season here at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville. And it's next.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection, like this month when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues, proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gainbridge, great at assists for your savings.
Today's presentation of the Gainbridge Super League is brought to you by Ascension St. Vincent's, Adidas, Honda of the Avenues, Echo East Coast Transportation, Sunbelt Rentals, and Gatorade.
It's like read the room.
It is a chilly day in Jacksonville. Windy as well. We'll see how that impacts what happens today in this Gainbridge Super League game. First of the second half of the season between Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent. Let's take a look at the starting 11s for both sides, starting with the home team, the top team in the table, Sporting JAX. Stacey Bala marching out the familiar 3-5-2 formation, but a new name in on the right wingback position there. Number 33, Casey Smeckrud makes her Sporting JAX debut.
I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. We're looking for some production from that side, and I think that she's the one to give it to us.
And we'll also note that on the bench, another newcomer, Maggie Illig, is prepared to make her Sporting JAX debut as well. We'll talk about those newcomers in just a moment. For Carolina Ascent, familiar 4-4-2 location, there is a new name, not a new player. Audrey Coleman, who got married over the offseason, former Audrey Harding, will be playing in this lineup. And a new name in this kit, but not necessarily in this league, Lily Nabet in at the holding midfield position, coming over from Fort Lauderdale.
And we got to see this matchup with Nabet and Sophie Jones when Fort Lauderdale played. Man, it was fun. So it's going to be another one tonight.
Both teams made some additions in the midseason break, bringing in 3 players apiece. And take a look at Lily Nabet there. She will start. Shay Groom and Ava Cook coming in for Carolina Ascent to bolster this third-place team. You see Casey Smeckrud right there in the middle of your screen. She'll get the start. Maggie Illig on the bench, and Christina Roque, the former Florida State goalkeeper, also brought in for Sporting JAX. Both of these teams looking to fill some gaps or strengthen some areas that they think might become a factor as they make the push to the playoffs.
Well, the midseason changes are always interesting because, one, you've got to integrate them, but two, you don't really know what to look for because they haven't been on the field yet. So we'll see how they make an impact in this game.
And we'll see how the weather makes an impact in this game as well. 43 degrees, it's chilly and expected to get cooler. It's supposed to be in the 30s by the time the game wraps up. A lot of blankets, a lot of big puffy jackets and coats, a lot of beanies out there as well, and the wind might be as big a factor as anything for this one.
Yeah, this wind keeps shifting. You know, when it's going up and down the field, it's one thing. That's going to make an impact for sure. Hopefully it stays a little bit of a crosswind, but not likely.
Well, we'll see how these two teams, you would think Carolina would be a little more acclimated to the cold than the Florida-based team. But we'll see. There are some players who have been playing in far-flung lands. You mentioned Smeckrud. She played most recently in Finland, so maybe a little more adapted than somebody like, say, Ashlyn Puerta there, who is originally from Southern California and now living in Jacksonville. We're underway as Carolina Ascent and Sporting JAX kick off the second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. Second time these two sides have met here in Jacksonville, third time overall. Sporting JAX getting 4 points from those two matchups earlier. A draw and a win for Sporting JAX. The win came in Charlotte when Ashlyn Puerta notched the first hat trick in Sporting JAX history in a 4-3 victory over Carolina Ascent. 11 goals scored in total between the two sides. We'll see if we have a high-scoring affair here today in this one. Carolina applying some pressure here early. Mackenzie George with a takeaway and taken down right at the edge of the box, and a yellow card issued to Julia Lester. One of the rare times Lester's been slightly out of position, and this will be a dangerous position for a free kick coming for Carolina.
Especially dangerous with the wind because it's a little bit challenging to judge this. This ball might hang up a little bit, and we'll have to see what that looks like in terms of Caitlin Park's ability to come claim it.
They're going to move it back. They said the foul was a little bit before the top of the box, so it'll be a little longer entry here. Jill Aguilera to take it. You see Caitlin Parks there preparing. Right now the wind is blowing from Parks toward the opposite goal. And a set piece opportunity here for Carolina in the opening 2 minutes.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot for this free kick. You know, a ball that hangs up here makes it really, really difficult for the defense because the offensive players can run onto it.
Swings it in, a bouncing ball out in front. And it will be a goal kick for Sporting JAX. Let's take a look at the keys to the game for this one, Becky Burley. For Sporting JAX, they need to continue the momentum that they built at the end of the first half.
Yeah, that's an interesting part of it, right? Because this big break, which is pretty long, how do you continue that momentum? Or do you just restart it? And I think that'll be a big question of this match.
Yeah, 6 weeks later, here we go. So Carolina, something that Philip Poole talked about this week, he wants his team to finish better in front of the net.
Totally makes sense. I mean, this team has had tons of opportunities but hasn't finished as efficiently as they'd like. I think that's something he'll be looking for in this second half.
Parks with a long kick with the wind at her back. And the offside flag up on the far side. When these two sides met here in Jacksonville, they finished a 2-2 draw. In a game that was really a back and forth affair. And we mentioned the 4-3 final in Charlotte on a day where Ashlyn Puerta just absolutely exploded in the early going. Those games were in September, so it's been a while since these two sides have met. But they're both expecting to be teams that could meet in the postseason.
You know, Coach Philip Poole didn't feel like his team played the best in those two games. Of course, you got to give some credit to Sporting JAX for disrupting what they do, but we'll see who can impose on who in this particular game.
Playing all the way back to Megan McClellan, goalkeeper with 3 clean sheets so far this season for Carolina Ascent. Both of these teams generally want to play out of the back. Carolina a little more of a pressing team defensively, at least in the first half of the season.
And both of these teams have goalkeepers who aren't afraid to be a little adventurous with their feet.
Aguilera making the move inside Smeckrud. Now ball taken by Grace Philpotts. Philpotts tried to slot one through. Sophia Bowman couldn't quite get a foot to it. Both of these teams have been very consistent in terms of their starting 11s. They both have newcomers coming in today. And they've been very judicious in terms of substitutions during games.
Absolutely. You know, the consistency in the lineup definitely creates some cohesion. You do start to wonder as this season lengthens, how does player management play into that? But right now, both of these teams have been very, very consistent with their lineups.
Sporting JAX plays it back to the feet of the keeper, Caitlin Parks. Long ball over the top. Meg Hughes running for it. Didn't quite get there.
I think both teams are going to have to feel out the impact of the breeze. I wouldn't even call it a breeze, maybe the wind in this half, because it's going to be overpassing or underpassing based on which way you're going.
And you can just see the ponytails, how they're flowing while the players are standing still, showing just how hard the wind is blowing here. And it is not anticipated, or at least forecast, to be lessening at all as the evening plays out. Lester being chased by Mackenzie George.
Yeah, we're about to see the press that Carolina is known for in action. I think they're just waiting for that first entry ball. But certainly something Sporting JAX needs to be aware of.
A touch from Bailey DeSmit. And it's scooped up by Sophie Jones. Tried to combine there with Sophia Bowman. Played back to Lester. It has been 6 weeks since either one of these teams played a match. Smeckrud bodying up. Now Julia Lester. Paige Kenton. Run off the ball by Aguilera. Sophie Jones fights for it. Falls to Lester's feet.
You know, part of it is just reestablishing that chemistry that you have with one another. Doesn't go away, but certainly needs a little bit of getting back into the groove with either of these teams.
Both of these teams had some scrimmage or mid-season break friendlies on the schedule, but not against other teams of the level that they're facing today.
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges of this break when it falls. You know, the opportunity to play, can't really play collegiate teams. They're not back in. NWSL's just getting started, so it's tough to get matches with them. So finding matches in this break is a big challenge for both of these teams.
Stacey Balaam, who has guided her team to the top of the table. Got there the last day of the first half of the season.
Oh, what a ball.
Ball through for DeSmit. And McClellan, like a cat, jumped out on it to take away the option for Bailey DeSmit. But a great change there for Sporting JAX here in the 8th minute.
And a great read by McClellan, because that was a really dangerous ball that she just snuffed out with her reading of that play.
When they have the ball, both of these teams will have some similar characteristics. As we mentioned, like to play out of the back, like to play through the lines.
Yeah,
when, for Carolina throw.
I think when you have a team that plays similarly, it's always interesting to see early in a match like this to see who might try to impose upon whom, and I think that's where we're at in this match right now.
Riley Parker in the middle of the park. Now to Coleman. Wide for Aguilera. Taylor Porter. Philip Poole says plays on every blade of grass.
He just couldn't say enough good things about Taylor Porter, the captain of this team, a leader, you know, somebody who brings it every single day of the week, not just on match day.
And Philip Poole said sometimes it's kind of hard to describe exactly what she means and how much she means, but he knows.
Yeah, I think that's one of those, you know it when you see it day in and day out.
There's Grace Philpotts. Ahead to DeSmit. Cut off there by Sydney Studer.
You know, we talked about neither team subbing a lot, but when you think about this from a defensive standpoint, certainly Carolina's back line has been together a lot. I mean, some of those players have played tons and tons of minutes. I believe Aguilera has played every minute of the season. That really helps with some cohesion and consistency in that back line for sure.
Yeah, you have two defenders, one on each team, that have played every minute of the first half. Julia Lester for Sporting JAX and Jill Aguilera for Carolina Ascent. Lester, it was revealed last week, played with broken ribs at one point this year. Still didn't miss a minute. Here's Kenton applying some pressure. Meg Hughes coming forward for Sporting JAX. 10 minutes in, we've seen a half chance for Sporting JAX in what has been a game largely played in the midfield for both sides. Lester through. Now here's Smeckrud out wide. Bowman trailing behind her. Smeckrud all the way across, and it will be too much. It'll head to the corner flag. And will be a throw coming for Carolina Ascent. Philip Poole. Last year guided his team to the best regular season record in the Gainbridge Super League.
You know, Philip comes with so much experience after having coached with the U.S. Women's National Team, and I think he's applied that experience to this team. Obviously, their finish last year, outstanding. This year, they're off to a great start.
Now here's Puerta trying to get her 12th of the year. Didn't get a lot on it, and McClellan there to cover it up.
Great little combination inside the box. Frees her up. I know she'd want that one back.
Puerta just returned from working with the U.S. Women's Developmental Team, practicing alongside the U.S. Women's National Team in California. But some great opportunities for a young rising star in the game.
The experiences that she's had this year, just getting off to the start that she did in the first half of the season, getting invited into these U23 and now the developmental team, which is basically the B team for the U.S. Women's National Team. I mean, that's a pretty amazing space to be 18 years old and having these type of experiences.
Starting to get a lot of attention around the game. think being atop the scoring ranks as the midseason break came meant that for 6 weeks everybody could look at the standings and look at the stats and say, oh, all right, Puerta. Yeah.
And a potential young player and player of the year in the league for the first half.
Yeah, those were online votes taken by the league, and there was no doubt. I think it was something like 90% voted for Puerta as the young player of the year. How could you not? But also winning player of the year for the first half, or the half anyway. But as has been pointed out, players of the half year and teams of the half year don't make a championship. Still plenty more soccer to be played. Smeckrud tried to play one forward for DeSmit. Played out by Aguilera. Throw for Sporting JAX here in the 13th minute. Talk about putting a team on the pitch who has played together and then putting one new player out there. Becky, you can do it in training to a certain extent. But these are very important minutes here for both of these sides who are trying to put new starters into the formation for both Sporting JAX and for Carolina.
Yeah, you think it's just one player. Like, what difference is that going to make? But there is a chemistry that comes with playing with each other for a while. And, you know, Smeckrud trying to fit in with Sporting JAX is a big deal. And the same for Carolina with entering their new players. I mean, it's an adjustment period that's going to happen, and it's more about chemistry than it is about ability.
Smeckrud was known to the Sporting JAX staff. She played 2 seasons in the USLW League in Lexington for Alan Kirkup, now an assistant coach for Stacey Bailey, your former assistants. So there was some knowledge of the player and the person coming in, and that's certainly a real advantage when you start to implement these additions.
Yeah, it's one thing to just scout someone. It's another thing to actually have coached someone and really gotten to spend some time with them. And so I think the fact that Allen had such experience with Smeckrud, that's got to be a huge plus.
Here comes Smeckrud playing it ahead. Paige Kenton running in behind. The offside flag up. Oh, just barely. Kenton offside. There's a big story from the first half as well. Paige Kenton, who started the year as a defender who would occasionally come in and play up top. Take a look here. You can see Kenton just a stride offside. Under the new Arsene Wenger rules, she would have been on. Talk about making a change in the game. We'll see if that goes through. But with the Kenton, 6 goals, 5 assists in the first half. Tied for the league lead in assists with her teammate Meg Hughes. What a story on the field she has been. And a great story off the field as well. We mentioned in previous broadcasts, graduated magna cum laude from Penn with a neuroscience degree. That's all.
That's all. No big deal. I think Paige Kenton just shows us like the appetite for women's soccer in this country is huge, because players like her might not have had a career beyond college had USL not come around. So the fact that the Gainbridge Super League gives opportunities for players to play at this level and to succeed and thrive at this level, as we're seeing with Paige Kenton, is just amazing.
What the Gainbridge Super League has done over the last year and a half in terms of domestic opportunities for professional women's soccer players in this country cannot be overstated. Here's a ball through for Kenton. Onside this time, and played out for a corner kick for Sporting JAX. Kenton so dangerous running in behind, and you saw it there.
Yeah, and Sid Studer read that well. Again, the cohesion of this back line, you can tell they've played together quite some time, because another great combination play to get in the box, but another snuffed out play by Carolina's back line.
So here is Sophia Bowman to take the corner. You see the corner flag, the wind blowing from her left to right. Played in toward the box, headed high, and cleared out. It will be a free kick for Carolina. Second half of the season underway now, and it's a great time to check out the women's flex packs for Sporting JAX. Choose any 4 matches for one low price. It's a great option for busy families. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjax.com/flex. You can also use the QR code on your screen and pick out your 4-game flex pack for the second half. Should be a good one as Sporting JAX tries to qualify for the Gainbridge Super League postseason in their first year in the league. play it over the top. Sophie Jones defending on Parker. Kicked free momentarily and then recaptured by Carolina.
What's interesting is, Carolina is known for their press and their counter press, and right now you're actually seeing that counter press at a really high level from Sporting JAX.
Georgia Brown stepped in front of Mackenzie George to play it out. Brown, who got her first caps with the Scotland national team in 2025 and was one of the finalists for defender of the first half in the Super League. She and Puerta, the first two players signed by Sporting JAX. Those look like pretty darn good signings right now.
Yeah, I'd say the roster building of Sporting JAX has really paid off with some of these young players. And a little bit different approach than Carolina had. Carolina's team is quite a bit older, but I think both have advantages and disadvantages. And right now, Sporting JAX looks like they've done some great work with signing some young players.
And Philip Poole actually mentioned that in our conversation with him this week about how Carolina went with more established veteran players. Sporting JAX with more than half of the players who had never played professionally when they signed. And several of those players have become key performers on this team. Aguilera lines up this corner for Carolina. And the wind blows the ball off the spot.
I think we might hear that line more than once tonight.
I have a feeling you're right. Aguilera swings it in, takes a bounce. Headed once. Cut off. Coleman got a foot to it. Couldn't get much on it, and it's cleared out by Sporting JAX. Puerta running after it, but it'll be played back by Porter. Difficult to say from our vantage point, but none of the corners that have been taken in this game so far have been looked like they've been where they've been intended because of the wind.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting strategy going forward, because if you're going with the wind, scoring directly off the corner is an option with these conditions.
Take another look at this last foul. Audrey Coleman pushing Lester from behind. Long conversation had there.
Probably lucky she escaped without a card.
Denny Kulisinic, the referee tonight. Julia Lester, former Florida Gator.
It's funny, you just mentioned the referee, and we haven't mentioned the referee much in the whole first half of the season, which I think is a real credit to the refereeing crews that have been on these games, because they have not been the center of attention.
And that's the other thing when you talk about the expansion of the game, whether it's the Gainbridge Super League, other leagues adding teams, that means more games, more officials are needed, more support staff needed. There is a trickle-down impact of more leagues, more teams.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because if you think about all sports, the officiating never keeps up with the level of play in terms of how quickly it moves. And so being able to have more opportunity to referee at a high level is really important.
Smeckerud did keep it in, much to Philip Poole's dismay. Carolina able to take it away.
I think Philip Poole might have a point on that one.
I would say he probably would have. Aguilera coming forward now. Bowman chasing after her. But getting back to the point about how to build a team, Carolina coming in last season as one of the original 8. Jacksonville coming in this season as the lone expansion team this year. And there is risk and reward with going with more established veteran pros and with more young players. The risk with the young player is that they won't adapt to the pro game as well as they did with the college game. And the risk with the older players is if they wind up getting beaten out by a younger player, how will they respond? That's always a big part of things. So roster management, player management becomes a major force for these coaches. There's the Smith fighting for it, cut off on the far side by Brianna Martinez.
Well, I think you make a good point about that, because when you think about it, like, we don't see it every day in training, but certainly the veterans on both of these teams have had an impact in just the general day-to-day standards and culture of the teams. And I think that that does not get lost on either of these teams, how important that veteran presence is.
Now a chance for Carolina. Mackenzie George slides it into the middle and played too wide. Never threatened the goal there.
Well, you can tell why Mackenzie George is such a feature of this attack for Carolina. You know, she's such a strong player carrying the ball, and that's one of the things that Coach Philip Poole mentioned yesterday, was how she has developed so much in being able to engage defenders. We saw it right there.
Carolina putting on the press here. Grace Philpott's playing it forward, and now a giveaway. And here's George again with an opportunity. Played out wide now. Coleman over to the side. Aguilera. Smeckrud defending. Jill Aguilera sent one in right into the breadbasket of Georgia Brown. And then a header over the top. That was an opportunity for Carolina. Jacksonville did not close down the ball or the carom very well in that situation. And Carolina nearly took advantage.
Yeah, best chance of the game by far for either side. You know, lots of balls bouncing in the box. Carolina stays with it. Maybe a diving header there might have trajectoried that ball down a little bit lower, but certainly a great opportunity by Carolina.
Brianna Martinez getting her head into it there. Now Kate Parks to boom it with the wind at her back once again. Now over the top. Kenton running onto it, trying to get there. Couldn't fight past the defender.
You know, it's hard to say if this wind going with Sporting Jackson this half is helpful or not, especially with those balls over the top with Kenton, because a lot of them are running a little bit long. It'll be interesting to see in the second half if some of those hold up, if the timing becomes a little bit better.
Here's Bowman playing it back to Lester. A little one touch by Philpotts. Meg Hughes. Philpotts again. Sophie Jones. Now Meg Hughes. Playing it into DeSmit. Pushed down from behind. No whistle. Huerta tried to get to it. Could not. Smeckrud and Coleman come together. Coleman chips it free. Nabet plays it forward to Parker. And now finally chased down by Meg Hughes for Sporting JAX. Here's Hughes. Sending it into the middle. Sent back out. Deflected by Huerta. But gathered in by Carolina.
It is the battle of the counter press.
Boy, it really is.
You know, I think an underrated partnership is Philpotts and Meg Hughes. Those two have really held it down on that side and created a lot of offensive opportunities as well.
And here's Hughes coming through. Hughes into the box. Tried to center it in. Deflected out for a corner. She was trying to pick out Kenton, making a run down the middle. Here's Meg Hughes, one of 3 former Michigan State Spartans on the Sporting JAX roster, along with Kate Parks and the newly acquired Maggie Illig. Bowman setting up the corner.
This is a pretty stiff wind going here. Looking for an in-swinger. This is a dangerous one.
Bowman hits it high. Kenton tried to get ahead to it. Knotted down, and now the counter opportunity coming for Carolina. Here's Studer playing it forward. Now an errant ball in the middle of the field. Sophie Jones got to it for Sporting JAX. That looked like it was going to be a big opportunity for Carolina, but nothing came of it.
It certainly did. It was basically a 3v1. Great track back by Lester to make it a 3v2, but ultimately they were patient enough to not dive in and allowed more people back.
This one bounces over Nabet. Kenton was backing up, trying to get the bounce. Now Smeckrud tried to play it forward. Cut off there by Carolina. Aguilera once again. Aguilera so reliant.
I can see why she has played every minute. She was the defender of the year, I think, and certainly like what she's doing on this side is shutting down the attack in a very big way and providing some services going forward.
Lester will play it back to the feet of the keeper. Caitlin Parks. Carolina with the press once again. You can hear the wind whipping the corner flags near our microphones. Double team and a takeaway now. Here's Puerta coming out of it. Tried to slip one through. A little too much on it. DeSmit couldn't catch up. We talk about counterpunch.
It is. You know, I'd like to see, here's Smeckrud right here on the counter press. Giving up a foul, but you know what I'd like to see is she ran track as well as played soccer when she was at College of Charleston, and I'd love to see her just take one and go 1v1 and just push one by somebody and just see what her pace looks like.
800-meter runner. See if she can get out and stretch the legs here a little bit today in her Sporting JAX debut. Throw in coming for Jacksonville right in front of the Carolina bench. We've seen Sporting JAX playing backwards a little bit more than we're used to today. Part of that is Carolina's defensive shape. Both sides having players get up and start to warm up a bit. Here is the half-hour mark approaching. May take a little extra to get warm in these conditions.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision as a coach too. You know, when you're going to put somebody into conditions like this, it certainly requires a little bit longer period of warm-up.
There is Coleman forward. Cut off by Georgia Brown. Smeckrud, nice little bit of skill, but couldn't catch back up to it. A throw coming for Carolina. We believe, and we haven't been able to confirm this 100%, but we believe this is the coldest professional soccer match ever played in Jacksonville.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of this 30s weather this part of the country, so I think we've got a pretty good chance of that.
And not a lot of soccer games played in the professional ranks in January in Jacksonville in the past. With the fall to spring scheduling for the Gainbridge Super League, it brings that opportunity in play. I'm sure when the schedule makers looked at this and thought we're going to restart the season end of January, let's head down to Florida. They were probably not anticipating temperatures plunging into the 30s with winds well over 30 miles an hour in some cases.
Well, so far with both of these teams playing a lot on the ground, you know, I don't really feel like the wind has been a huge factor, except in terms of the through balls that Sporting JAX has been trying to play. We'll see if those conditions continue to hold and allow these teams to play the way that they want to.
Got a shot just over the shoulder of Brianna Martinez there of some of the fans in the VIP suites that are there in behind the board. One bundled up there with looking like an Arctic expedition about to come. Everybody else inside.
Hey, it's free hot chocolate tonight for everybody.
Yeah, that's a great offer. Does that apply to the broadcasters?
I'm waiting for mine.
Here's DeSmit trying to race forward. Wins a throw for Sporting JAX.
You know, as cold as it is in the stands, once you get moving as a player, these conditions aren't terrible. I think it's just a matter of getting back into the swing of things more than the conditions playing into that.
Lester, a diagonal ball. Picking out Meg Hughes. Martinez looking 1v1 against Hughes. Hughes across. Headed away. Sent back in and then back out again. Huerta now. Over toward the corner flag, nobody making a run there. And for the second time, a Sporting JAX ball hits off of the corner flag.
I know a couple of times I thought this ball's going to stay in when it hits that corner flag.
A good approach shot leaves a birdie putt. Here's Coleman. Gives it away for Paige Kenton. Kenton. And another corner coming for Sporting JAX.
Really like to see Sporting JAX try for the in-swinger here. A little bit closer to goal. The last one was an in-swinger, but way outside the 6.
See what Bowman does.
Yep.
She's right-footed.
Yep, we got an outswinger.
Once again, nothing comes to the corner, and a chance on the counter for Carolina Ascent. Nabet rolls it forward, and it's cut off by the Sporting JAX defense.
Really good positioning by Georgia Brown to shut down that counter. And, you know, Carolina has been very dangerous on that counter thus far.
Here's DeSmit. Elevates one to the back post. Bowman and Smekrud were both there. Bowman got a head to it, but couldn't get it anywhere else.
It's a good ball in. That far post ball is a tough one. And you look at the number of people in the box that Sporting JAX has, which is impressive.
You can enter the Gainbridge Back to Play giveaway for a chance to win a prize pack, including signed goalie gloves from Brianna Scurry and more. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter for a chance to win. A nice little take home.
Yeah.
Bryce Scurry. We had a chance to talk with her.
Legend.
Legend. Played out wide. Now sent in the header, saved by Parks with a foot. Aguilera sends it in. Lester sends it back out for Sporting JAX.
That is a great save, but a great opportunity, too. I mean, that diving header looked like it was destined to go in, except for the foot of Caitlin Parks.
We have seen some big saves through the year by Caitlin Parks. That one was as good as we've seen in the run of play. Her highlight save had to be the double save on the penalty kick.
Some would argue triple.
Some would say.
But no, that was a quality save right there. And you could talk about reaction time, but you could also talk about positioning. She had great footwork as she followed that ball across.
Take another look here at save by Caitlin Parks. The build-up really created some great opportunities. The diving header, and then Parks got a foot to it. Caitlin Parks is a rather low-key, quiet individual off the pitch, but boy, when she's on it, a fierce competitor.
And you know, that low-key quiet is not something you hear with a lot of goalkeepers. So for her to be able to step into that role on the pitch makes it a really valuable part of her game.
And she's as loud as anybody during training. You can hear her shouting instructions from all the way across the pitch. She's had a tremendous rookie campaign. Martinez with the throw. Sophie Jones gets to it for Sporting JAX. Played ahead. Chased back by Jenna Butler. And now a throw for Jacksonville coming. This has been one of those games where it's kind of felt like two individuals on a seesaw trying to keep their balance. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Neither side is dominated by any stretch. Both sides have had some chances, but so far no goals.
Some good quality soccer being played, and I think, you know, we've seen some lot of scoring in these games in the past between these two teams, but right now I think it's just some good quality soccer yielding some great attempts. We'll have to see how this plays out, but really enjoying the level of play of this match.
Kenzie George with a hustle there, forcing the giveaway, and it's a throw for Carolina. Aguilera standing right on the edge of the Sporting Jacks technical box. George didn't get much on it. Phil Potts. And Lester plays it out for a throw from Carolina Ascent.
Quite sure what that call is from the coaching staff, because her last throw-in really broke a line there.
Here, Philip Poole yelling not inside. Here's Nabet. Leaston now played around and through. George on the left side. Cut off by, rather Coleman, cut off by Lester. And a corner kick coming once again for Carolina. The attack has largely been down the left side for Carolina. Julia Lester has been a busy defender for Sporting Jacks.
It's one of the first times we've called Nabet's name, and you know, Nabet's a new player for them, but certainly a quality addition. I expect her to get more and more involved in the game as this proceeds.
Brianna Martinez to move it closer to the arc. High ball to the top of the six, headed down. And handled by Parks. Sporting Jacks will have an opportunity to counter here if they can get it turned upfield. Huerta comes back for it. Couldn't control it. Got stepped on. Georgia Brown now sends it back for Sporting Jacks. Lily Nabet, you mentioned, a former teammate at Duke, along with Sophie Jones, the Sporting Jacks captain. And those two had some pretty good tangles when Sporting Jacks took on Fort Lauderdale United in the first half of the season when Nabet was playing for Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, and we're starting to see them a little bit closer to being matched up on the pitch right now. And that's going to be a developing story of this game, because certainly Sophie is a huge part of the connection piece for Sporting Jacks, and I think Nabet is becoming a bit more dominant in this game as it proceeds.
Meg Hughes with the throw. Now Coleman on the counter. Sliding it through for Riley Parker. Nabet. This one deflected and easily handled by Caitlin Parks. You have to wonder about the psychological impact of the weather as well. I know these are professional athletes, but first game back, haven't played in the cold in months in a competitive game. I wonder if that's impacting anybody just in terms of how aggressively they're going after balls.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. It doesn't appear that that's been too much of a factor for them, but you never know if you're not out there experiencing it yourself, that's for sure.
There's Meg Hughes. Parks just got it away. Smeckrud. Bowman. Smeckrud chasing after it again. It'll be a throw for Jacksonville near the halfway line.
Gotta love the confidence of both of these goalkeepers with their feet. You know, Caitlin Parks probably giving Stacey Baum a little bit of gray hair with that last one.
Select, the official match ball supplier of the Gainbridge Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Final 3 minutes regulation time here in the first half. Sophie Jones pulled down by Mackenzie George. Easy whistle there.
Mackenzie George has been a handful. There's no question that a lot goes through her. She's somebody that, you know, in the turn of a second can make this attack work.
Mentioned she played more of a midfield role, kind of a number 7 for the most part last year when she was an all-league pick. This year she's playing up top and will drift into the middle and give it a little bit of run at the top of the attack for Carolina. Equally as effective this year for Ascent.
And she puts in a lot of work. You know, she sets that press and really gets them going defensively.
There's Smeckrud out wide. Slides one through for Sophia Bowman. Across. Headed away by Carolina. And a ball over the top. Lester charging onto it. She tangles with Mackenzie George. And a whistle and a foul. Carolina, the bench looking for another card on Lester, which would be a disqualifier. She already has one yellow card.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup because Lester is going to have to be a little bit cautious with Mackenzie George, especially when it comes to the physicality side with sitting on a yellow already.
Lacey Balaam have to make a decision perhaps at halftime whether to leave Lester in. Lester, as we mentioned, has played every minute of every game in the Gainbridge Super League this season for Sporting JAX. Over the top, Grace Philpotts will play it back to the feet of Caitlin Parks.
Coach Philip Poole still arguing that Lester had a tactical foul there. Hard to call it a tactical foul at midfield, but still understandably upset about the lack of the, well, not the lack of the call, but maybe the lack of the card.
Georgia Brown playing a long one, headed back by Jill Aguilera. Now Coleman. Smeckrud came up to it. It'll be a throw for Carolina Ascent in the final minute of regulation time in the first half. Don't expect too much stoppage time, if any. Here's Bowman. Tried to get into a racing Bailey DeSmit. Here's Riley Parker. Playing it ahead. Once again for Mackenzie George. Her cross goes all the way through. Nabet chasing it down. We've hit 45 minutes. No stoppage time has been indicated. So this should be the last opportunity of the half. Carolina trying with the last kick to try to get the first goal of the match. Cross comes in. Back to the middle. Headed away. And Philpotts will play it out. And that is how the first half will end. 0-0 at halftime in what has been a very balanced and entertaining opening to the spring half of the season with Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent. We've seen a little bit of everything except goals in this one, Becky Berlin.
We have. I mean, it's been an entertaining match in terms of the level of play. I think the story is the continuity of the back line of Carolina has really kept Sporting JAX out of the box. But then their counterattack has been super dangerous. And as we just saw it to end the half, that buildup was particularly dangerous too.
Mackenzie George was a big factor in that first half, creating some opportunities down the left side. And for Sporting JAX, there were a few opportunities that mixed in here and there, but no goals after 11 goals scored in the two previous games between these two sides. Sophia Bowman there certainly was involved, as she usually is, doing all the running in the midfield as Sporting JAX found their way through. By the way, hats off to the crowd here. Very good crowd considering the conditions, the wind and the cold, and they were certainly entertained in that first half with two teams just counter-punching all the way as far as that is concerned. And we're going to be joined here momentarily by Sporting JAX head coach Stacey Balaam, whose side with a 0-0 first half. Stacey, counter-punch after counter-punch, these two sides were going at it there in that first half.
Yeah, I think conditions are a big factor in that, but I think we're just both feeling each other out, and we've both had opportunities, so it's going to be an interesting second half.
Stacey, what do you think the conditions are doing to the game itself?
It's definitely causing problems. We've got to get a ball on the ground and play, but it's tough. It's for us, we were with the wind, so we were able to press them higher up the field and try and lock them in their own half. It was difficult for them to try and get out at times, but now we're obviously going to face that issue going into the second half.
Stacey, thanks so much. Go get warm in the locker room for a couple of minutes, and we'll see you in the second half.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
That's Stacey Balaam, the head coach for Sporting JAX. A back and forth first half, but a 0-0 score at halftime. Back with a look around the league and more straight ahead from Jacksonville as we restart the second half of the season. Fernandez, and there's the goal. This ball late.
Are you kidding me?
Kopaisi knocks it away.
Finds the back of the net.
He said it's Jamona, and she has leveled it. Over top corner.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
At ViStar Credit Union, we know life's a journey. Birthday parties turn to wedding parties. There are first steps and missteps. Just know ViStar is there with banking made for moments big and small. A home where a family grows, or that convertible for the open road. It's a journey we are on together. It's why we support hundreds of local nonprofits, volunteer throughout the Southeast, and simply care. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CR-V for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
Good. Yes, Emina.
I think Lexington has referred to as the hometown hero, and
Genuinely, she is.
Nina Ekic delivers.
I mean, it's definitely one of the best players in this league, and then I think she's just getting started.
I've been through the hardship, and I know that I can make my way to the top.
Nina Ekic.
She is so good.
Being out here really reminds me of my Bosnian roots. You don't really realize till you get up close how big they are.
We're going to get in this situation in a game all the time this weekend.
Lexington back home after the long trek to Spokane.
Now that we have more than one professional league in the U.S., it's just been exciting to watch.
Scoreless at halftime in windy and cool Jacksonville. Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent both looking for a first goal. More to come. Straight ahead from Hodges Stadium. Here is the upcoming schedule for next week in the Gainbridge Super League. Carolina Ascent will go back home to host Amina Ekic and Lexington SC. Sporting JAX home for one of 3 straight here at Hodges Stadium, the second of 3. They'll host DC Power at 5 o'clock. And Fort Lauderdale United and 4th place Dallas Trinity tangle in South Florida. That's all a week from today, February 7th, around the Gainbridge Super League. As for games going on right now, Dallas and Brooklyn scoreless at halftime. Tonight, Fort Lauderdale plays against Lexington. And you see the schedule for next week as well. The Gainbridge Super League just getting underway. 14 matches for each side in the second half of the season. The top 4 make the playoffs after that. 2 of the top 4 scoreless at halftime here. First place Jacksonville. 3rd place Carolina, 0-0 at Hodges Stadium.
All right, Tunky Funky, you're gonna love these jammies I just got for you. I just got cash back on all of this makeup.
You know we can use Price.com in store?
I just grabbed their shoes up and
Can't forget our protein powder.
just a little something for you, babe.
You win.
We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for JAX, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting JAX.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
At ViStar Credit Union, we know life's a journey. Birthday parties turn to wedding parties. There are first steps and missteps. Just know ViStar is there with banking made for moments big and small. A home where a family grows, or that convertible for the open road. It's a journey we are on together. It's why we support hundreds of local nonprofits, volunteer throughout the Southeast, and simply care. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
Come on, Marshall, let's go. Marcia's here for daycare.
You obsess over her. And so do we.
With daycare, overnight, and spa services from the most trusted name in the game, Dogtopia. Better lives together.
Halftime of the first game of the second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent both looking for the first goal of the second half. We saw a few opportunities, Becky Burley, in that first half, but both sides able to come up with some defensive stops. Here's Paige Kenton sliding one through for Ashlyn Puerta. Well handled by Megan McClellan. This was sort of indicative of the first half.
Absolutely. Getting through the back line, not getting enough on that to really make it a threat. But certainly the defensive presence of Carolina is felt.
And if you want to talk about saves, this was a terrific one by Caitlin Parks off the diving header, able to kick it away. Riley Parker trying to find the back of the net, but the kick save and a beauty by Caitlin Parks. Let's take a look at the first half stats. 7 shots, 2 of them on target for Carolina. 5 shots, 3 on target for Sporting JAX. Sporting JAX slightly ahead on possession. None of the 5 corners amounted to much. And the one yellow card, notable because of who it's on, Julia Lester, who has certainly been in the middle of a lot of the defending on the attack for Jacksonville on Carolina's left side.
Well, notable for who it is with Sporting JAX, but notable also for who she's playing against, which is Mackenzie George, and so much has run through her. This is going to be a really good matchup to watch in the second half.
0-0 at halftime. Sporting JAX and Carolina Ascent. Might be warm in those dinosaur costumes. Well, think about that for next time. Back with more after this.
News for JAX is all about community.
Very good to see you. It's local voices and stories that matter most.
Always connecting, always listening, searching for solutions, and getting answers to the questions you care about most.
We've always got your back.
News 4 JAX and News 4 JAX Plus, Jacksonville's most watched newscast.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gainbridge, great at assists for your savings.
At ViStar Credit Union, we know life's a journey. Birthday parties turn to wedding parties. There are first steps and missteps. Just know ViStar is there with banking made for moments big and small. A home where a family grows, or that convertible for the open road. It's a journey we are on together. It's why we support hundreds of local nonprofits, volunteer throughout the Southeast, and simply care. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
Today's game is brought to you by Gainbridge, Dogtopia Jacksonville Beach Boulevard, UNF, Pepsi, Visit Jacksonville, SeatGeek, and Delta Hotels Marriott. Same 11s for both sides to start the second half. You see Sophia Bowman, Ashlyn Puerta. And it has been a busy half for Jill Aguilera. And for really all the defenders, this has been a game that has been played back and forth. Sporting Jacks to kick off to start the half. Caitlin Parks looking like she's going to try to boot one down near the corner flag. It's up high, but down the middle of the field. And the second ball, the chip on the way, and just wide. Bailey DeSmit almost stole one.
What great awareness to even try to hit that first time. And man, that would have been quite a goal if she had finished that. But again, cannot say enough about her awareness in that space.
Smith scored a couple of goals here in her rookie season, and that would have been a highlight start to the second half. There's Sophie Jones. Grace Philpotts. We've seen some errant passing out of the Sporting Jacks defenders in this game. You wonder how much the layoff is impacting that, how much the weather is impacting that, and how much the pressure from Carolina plays a role.
I think you probably hit it on the head with all three being part of it. I'll be interested to see if the through balls in particular for Sporting Jacks are a bit more accurate without going with the wind.
Wind blowing from right to left for the most part, as you see it. Blowing a little bit to the far flag as well. Here's Smeckrud.
I just want to see Smeckrud go 1v1. Open it up. Let's see what she can do here.
Bowman closing her down. There's Georgia Brown. There's Philpotts. And this one played out for a throw for Sporting Jacks. Looking down the left side here, I see a number of Sporting Jacks players running, trying to stay warm or get warm. No Carolina players are warming right now. Talked about how these two sides are among the least active in terms of substitutions during a game. In fact, the top three teams in the league, Sporting Jacks, Lexington SC, and Carolina Ascent, sub the least this year. Not sure exactly what to make of that, other than they have good starting 11s.
Yeah, good starting 11s, and I think we're seeing the result of some of that with the cohesion of both of these lineups. Both lineups look really, really consistent. You can tell they've played with each other a good bit, and even where the new players are added in, whether that's Smeckrud or Nabet, seems a little bit seamless at this point to have both of them in the lineup.
Georgia Brown laying it back for Puerta, and now back to Caitlin Parks. Will hit one into the wind this time. Headed a long way back toward the top of the box.
That's going to have to be a definite adjustment. When you're hitting the ball into the wind, it's a lot different than the first half where it was just carrying.
Now here's Puerta carrying the ball forward on the ground. Tried to slip it inside to Meg Hughes. He was intercepted by the Carolina defense. Here's Coleman. On the ground to Parker. Bowman tracking back. Smeckrud now going wide on Mackenzie George. Played ahead for DeSmit, but cut off there by Sydney Studer.
One of the things that's playing out in this game is Sporting Jacks doesn't face too many teams where the possession is almost even. So being able to be comfortable in a situation where a team can keep the ball as well as you do is an important part of keeping your identity within this match.
Huerta pushed from behind by Nabet.
There's that feistiness of Nabet that we've seen in the past.
And she certainly was not backing down anyone in the matchups when she was playing for Fort Lauderdale against Jacksonville. I mentioned she and her former Duke teammate Sophie Jones had a couple of battles. This one hit high and out by Parks. It'll be a throw for Carolina. But that kind of feistiness, that goes a long way, especially with a team like Carolina that can possess the ball. You need some steel there in the midfield.
Yeah, she's got some bite for sure, and she's got the ability to possess the ball, which is just a perfect combination for what they're looking for in this midfield. I can see why they added her to this group.
Philpotts up ahead to Bowman. Couldn't keep it in. The passing has not been the best this year for Sporting JAX. Sporting JAX has been one of the most frequent and most effective passing teams in the league. But it's been a bit here and there in this match so far.
Yeah, and I think Stacey Balaam is right. I mean, the conditions are not helping a ton with this, particularly offensively. Shouldn't really do much for the build-up, but at the same time, you know, you get a lot of confidence when you can see that build-up lead to something.
Sophie Jones tackled to the ground by Riley Baisden. Sophie grabbing onto her shoulder a little bit there. Take another look. Looked like Sophie Jones kind of set her up here with the slowdown, and then Baisden came plowing through. Not much she could do there, but got herself out of position. Sophie Jones has worn the captain's armband for Sporting JAX since the very first time they put a captain's armband on anybody here in this club.
She's done such a great job of that too. You know, I think her teammates just talk all the time about how she continues to elevate and keep the standard where it needs to be for this group. She's a pro. She understands what needs to happen to be successful, and she executes it herself. So she's modeling exactly what she's asking.
Sporting JAX in first place in the Gainbridge Super League, and Sporting JAX kicks off in the USL Championship in March. Season tickets are now available, starting as low as $10 per match. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjax.com, or you can use that QR code on your screen to save your spot for men's pro soccer returning to Jacksonville. That will be just around the corner, just over a month away. There's the counter by Mackenzie George. Parker falls down.
Just check in with Meg, okay?
Okay.
That was an interesting call by the officials.
I'm still trying to see
sure
what that was
either.
I was hoping you saw something that I didn't. I don't know if it was a handball or what, but
I don't know what that was. You know, a name that we haven't really probably heard enough of is Ashlyn Huerta. I think they need to make a concerted effort for Sporting JAX to be able to get her the ball.
Carolina looking for that first goal. Parker maintains possession. Back to Aguilera. Makes an inside move on Smekrud. Then calmly Sophie Jones intercepts. Bowman got kicked. Or rather Huerta. And we've seen Huerta quite a bit deeper in the formation on a number of occasions than we have seen much of the year. Carolina pressure continues to pay dividends for the visitors. Corner coming after Georgia Brown pushed away Taylor Porter's cross.
Corner coming with a stiff wind heading right towards that goal. You know, neither team has really capitalized, like you mentioned, on any of these corners, but as these conditions persist, I would have to think that these teams are going to look to be a little bit more direct on goal with some of these free kicks.
Jill Aguilera. Try a left footer here. Watch out, because with the wind, again, as you mentioned, the in-swinger here could be a real factor. Caitlin Parks have to be aware of it in goal. Aguilera toward the spot. Still alive, still in, and sent wide.
Carolina's done a really good job of that, of keeping the ball alive inside the box. And right now, Sporting JAX has sort of dodged a bullet a few times with their inability to clear the ball out of the box. That's going to be something that's going to have to improve if they don't want to give up a soft goal.
There's Phil Potts. And this one is called out. It'll be a quick throw from Carolina. Mackenzie George is possessed, but it comes to Aguilera. Hits one along the ground. A diving stop by Parks, who had the near post cover.
Yeah, I think that was going wide, but you could hear Coach Alan Kirkup giving a little bit of, what would you call that, encouragement to the Sporting JAX team in terms of not giving away these easy opportunities for Carolina.
And it appears we're going to have a Sporting JAX sub coming here shortly as we near the hour mark. And it will be the debut for one of the new additions. Huerta roughed up. Free kick coming for Jacksonville. And here comes the sub for Sporting JAX. It is Maggie Illig coming in, replacing Casey Smeckrud. So one newcomer replaces another. Smeckrud getting 56 minutes of work in her Sporting JAX debut. Put in a good shift, and now here comes Maggie Illig, a former Michigan State star, just left her position with the Spartans after the college season ended. And Illig comes in, and she will play the right center back spot, and Julia Lester moves up to play on the wing.
Something new for new, not really a surprise there, and I'd say Smeckrud put in a pretty good shift for her initial time in Sporting JAX uniform. She certainly had some good combination play. Would like to see her assert herself a little bit more physically within the match, but not a bad start.
Here's Bowman. The ball kicked away from behind. Now it squirts free to Lily Nabet. Meg Hughes chasing on there. Riley Baisden. And back to Nabet. Maggie Illig, very impressive in training, according to Stacey Balaam. Really liked the way that she came in. Is a physical presence playing in that center back spot. And she gets her first touch as a Sporting JAX player. This one on and over goal. Baisden looking for her 5th goal of the season. Looked like she had an opening, but elevated it too much.
Yeah, you know, it's the first time in for Illig, and it's a little bit different from practice to going into a match. And, you know, when you're looking at the continuity of a back three, that's a pretty important part of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how she feels in that spot. But it also gives an opportunity for Leicester to play a little bit higher and potentially play a little bit more into the attack.
Here's Illig. Interchanging with Sophia Bowman. Now Georgia Brown feeds it to Grace Philpotts. Second ball won by Huerta. Light touch from behind by Porter. And it will be a yellow card on Taylor Porter. She cannot believe it.
That's a tough yellow to give away. You know, I think it's just the late kicking the ball away, not so much the foul necessarily.
Puerto calling for it.
That might have been for successive fouling.
Yeah, it didn't look like that in and of itself necessarily too egregious.
Carolina's done a good job of neutralizing Puerta, not necessarily through just fouling, but just keeping her out of dangerous positions.
Flick on header by Paige Kenton, but she was offside. For the most part, Kenton and Puerta, two leading goal scorers for Sporting JAX, have been pretty quiet tonight. Puerta had the one opportunity smothered by Megan McClellan. Kenton has had a couple of chances to run in behind. Now Sporting JAX will apply some pressure, and it forces a turnover and a throw coming for Sporting JAX. Quickly in, played out to the feet of Illig. Out wide for Julia Lester. Illig should be used to playing in the cold from Michigan State.
Yeah, I bet she's probably played a couple of games that are a little chillier than this.
I would think. Meg Hughes to Phil Potts. Nabet cut her off, and a foul called on Phil Potts. We've talked about the interplay and learning those connections. There has been some great work between Grace Philpotts and Meg Hughes through this year. We haven't seen as much of that impact the game here tonight. Again, credit to Carolina's defense.
Carolina does a really good job of getting their defense across the field, even when Sporting JAX is able to break the press and switch it. They don't panic. They just get their numbers behind the ball and then attack together as a unit. You can see some really good coaching in this team from a defensive possession. And, you know, Philip talked about that in our call this week, the intensity out of possession that he's looking for within the structure that they have. And that's on full display.
Philip Poole, you mentioned his time as a goalkeepers coach in the U.S. women's national team under Vladko Andonovsky. He has been a huge proponent and motivator, promoter of the women's game, and continues to be so as the head coach and general manager for Carolina Ascent. Meg Hughes working and couldn't get through. Jenna Butler able to ward her off.
You know, Jenna Butler is a player who's got a little experience from the NWSL with the Washington Spirit, really anchoring that back line for Carolina.
Long ball ahead, second ball won by Sophie Jones. And Jones runs through the Carolina player.
Got a lot of fouls happening right at midfield, as Philip Poole is pointing out. Not sure it's been the same people over and over again, but certainly it's making this game a bit choppy when we're giving away free kicks to both sides right in the middle of the field.
And you can't like it if you have to pick yourself off the turf in conditions like this, no matter how good the surface is here at UNF. It's cold and windy, and you have to crawl your way back up. Bowman intercepts that ball and lifts one for Sophie Jones. This one will be out, and a throw coming for Sporting JAX. Past the hour mark. It's been jabs and jabs, but no big shots landed so far by either side after 11 goals scored in 2 matches in the fall portion of the season when these two sides met.
Yeah, actually, besides that opportunity in the first seconds of this half, really hasn't been great chances for either side. And honestly, not a whole lot of sustained possession for either side.
Sophie Jones runs in front of that one. Carolina continues to press here. And Jones just bangs it off the legs of a defender for a goal kick.
I think we jinxed it in the first half, talking about the quality of play. And not that the quality of play has dropped, it's just been really, really difficult for either team to establish any kind of rhythm.
The Gainbridge Super League season in full swing. Visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into all things Gainbridge Super League. that side daily, taking a look at what's happening around the league.
There's a lot to watch.
Yeah, some of the new features, player profiles, you name it. 65th minute here in Jacksonville. Carolina has been a bit more on the front foot here in this half. Philpotts. Bailey to Smith. Collapsed upon. Huerta able to slide it away. And Philpotts is fouled.
You know, Stacey Balaam mentioned at halftime that they were able to pick up higher because of the conditions. Seems like Carolina's getting the benefit of that right now.
And we're going to see a substitution for Carolina, a couple of them, as Mia Corbin and Shea Groom will come in, replacing Riley Baisden and Audrey Coleman.
Well, this is two offensive firepowers that are added to this lineup. Mia Corbin's certainly been somebody last year who was one of the heartbeats of this team in terms of offensively. Shea Groom, experience all over the place, has played a long career and been a very dangerous attacking player every place she's been.
Corbin scored a dozen goals last season, but only one so far this year. A role has changed a bit for Carolina Ascent. And as you mentioned, Groom, who was added in the midseason break, former Chicago Stars player, 171 NWSL appearances in 11 seasons. Another foul in the midfield. But Groom also has a championship from her time with what was then called FC Kansas City. KC Current, former Texas A&M star, was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year back in 2014. Has caps with the U.S. U23s and was called in to the U.S. Women's National Team, but never got into a game. But that's the kind of experience and ability that Carolina has added here. We'll see how Groom can establish herself with her new team.
Not only is Shea Groom an offensive threat, she's got some bite to her. She terrorized some Gator teams over the years.
Here comes Sporting JAX. Lester's centering pass. Crossed in, now sent away. Over the head of Maggie Illig. It'll be out for a Jacksonville throw from near the halfway point.
It's good to see Lester getting into the attack. That's a good quality service that she put in. Hoping that with Illig's insertion into the back line, that will give Lester an opportunity to do that a bit more often.
Another errant service from Caitlin Parks. The wind has not been helping her out in this second half. She's been kicking into the wind and blowing all over the place. So a throw here for Carolina. Illig tracking back on it. When Sporting JAX was looking at adding Maggie Illig into the roster at the midseason break, Stacey Balaam asked her college teammates, Caitlin Parks and Meg Hughes, about her. She said, again, there's another moment where player pushed down, Sydney Studer that time. This has been a whistle-filled contest here in the cold in Jacksonville. Stacey Balaam says, I can't say what Meg Hughes said, but it was emphatic and positive.
Well, much like these emphatic and positive fouls that we've had this half, if we could draw a line across the halfway line between the center circles, we might set a record for number of fouls in a game.
Just Meg Hughes. Double teamed. Hughes gets it back from Sophie Jones. Back heel for Jones. Now for Huerta. Tried to slide it in. Jones didn't get a good foot to it. Sporting JAX maintains possession. Hughes and a corner coming for Sporting JAX.
Just gotten some word that there's some snow flurries out there, Cole.
Is that right?
That's what we were just told.
Well, there was a chance. Can you see it? Maybe just
a little bit.
With a little imagination and some better eyes than I have.
I see a few flurries.
Something's fluttering. There hasn't been snow that's stuck in Jacksonville since late 1989. So we're not expecting that, but there was an opportunity that maybe out toward the beach we could get some flurries. Bowman sends it towards goal. One hop handled by McClellan. Some of the fans are looking up, trying to grab the snowflakes.
Not something you see every day in Jacksonville.
Here's Lester. Now Carolina with a chance to counter. Could make Hughes close the ground. Sophie Jones to Phil Potts, now to Hughes. Trying to make the turn. Into the middle of the park now for Sophia Bowman. Bowman, former Minnesota Golden Gopher, to Bailey DeSmit along the ground. Handled by McClellan.
Actually, a really good first touch and quick release by Bailey DeSmit there. I didn't think she had much of a window to get that shot off, but she did. And good positioning by McClellan to just make it look pretty easy, but that was a good shot.
The look at it, just outside the penalty area. Mackenzie George. Martinez. Played over the top. Parks lets it come to her.
You know, we talked about this being a bit of a battle of the midfield. Before the break, Stacey Balaam really encouraged Sophie Jones to step up our defensive game, and I think we're seeing that. I mean, I think she's been a much more physical presence than we've noticed in the past.
She's been such a great passer of the ball, high percentage passer. Never seems to be overexcited, too stressed at all, but we have seen her be more combative, which is a word that Balaam used early in the season about some of the requests she was making of her players. Wanted them to be more combative, more aggressive defending. Early in the season, defense was a bit of a problem for Sporting Jacks, but it has not been of late. Here's Paige Kenton. Back to Sophia Bowman. Maggie Illig.
Here, Coach Balaam encouraging to go forward, and I agree with that. I think there's opportunities that this team has to look forward when they're not. And here we have another foul right in the midfield,
Yellow
between the circles.
Shea Groom just came in and pulling the arm down. Lester grabbing onto that shoulder. See, he got pinned down behind her there. That looks uncomfortable.
That did look uncomfortable.
Lester's as tough as they come. Shea Groom is now
in the books.
In the book with her new team.
She has bite. There's no doubt about that.
Doing her case here. But,
not sure she can argue that.
No, I don't think upon appeal that's going to have much of a chance. Has been a fairly chippy contest here between these two sides. A little ironic considering the style of play that both teams want to play in general. Carolina's a very prideful team. A lot of these players were on the roster last year when Carolina Ascent had the top record in the league in the regular season. Now here's Corbin trying to slide one through. Georgia Brown in great position to boot it away. Now Lester. Takeaway by Jenna Butler.
I think Sporting Jacks is looking a little disjointed in possession, and hopefully they can look to opportunity for like this, like a counter, and I think that's why Stacey's saying, let's look forward, let's look forward.
And I mentioned earlier in the game, we've seen more backward passing from Sporting Jacks in this matchup than we've seen in most games previously. Again, credit to Carolina's defense for some of that. There's Bowman. Huerta sliding it through. On the run, Bailey DeSmit. And a late whistle. The flag was up.
That was a late whistle. I'd have to see that one again to see if there was an offside there, but certainly a good sign for Sporting JAX that they're having a little bit of combination play work for them.
Another look, and just offside perhaps. Tough to see from that angle.
Yeah, tough
exactly,
angle.
but
tough angle.
You could see where the flag came from.
You could see how both sides could argue that they were on or they were off.
75th minute, no score. Feels like one goal would be enough in this one at this point.
Yeah, it definitely feels like this is going to be a one goal, or if that. Neither team really being able to sustain anything, which makes it, really critical that errors don't determine the outcome.
Here's Mackenzie George with Grace Philpotts in front of her. George gets to it. Defended by Philpotts. Well done there to maintain possession. Philpotts trying to keep it. Now Mia Corbin. Swings it to the top of the 6 and headed away. That'll be a corner coming for Carolina Ascent.
Georgia Brown, we haven't called her name a lot either, but she has really been in good position. And what's really impressed me in this game is her ability to transition from defense to offense in one touch. I mean, she's played some great balls in one touch where she's defending, winning the ball, distributing at the same time.
Aguilera again lining this up with the left foot. The wind now blowing more at her back than it was previously. Aguilera along the ground and a goal kick. Get your Sporting JAX gear now. Visit sportingjax.com/shop for everything from shirts and hats to t-shirts and scarves. The official online store of Sporting JAX.
Good night for one of those scarves.
Yeah, or a Sporting JAX hoodie.
Or a beanie. There's so many
all
options.
All of those, in
There's
fact.
So many options.
If there's snowflakes coming down, you can't go wrong with any of that. You mentioned the free hot chocolate being served up tonight.
Which they did not bring us any.
No, I will point that out. Here's Corbin. Cleared out by Maggie Illig. Just a couple of months ago, Illig was playing college soccer, and now here she is making her pro debut.
And under pressure and dealing with it quite well.
And the goal kick coming for Sporting JAX in the 77th minute. This one feels like it might be a matter of who doesn't make a mistake here the rest of the way. The defending has been tough on both sides. It's a game that's been played in the middle third for the most part.
And to be fair, Carolina's kept the pressure on here. I'd have to think that those possession stats would be a little bit reversed at this point.
Feels like it. Georgia Brown plays it back to Caitlin Parks. Now Illig ahead to Julia Lester. Lester back to Georgia Brown. Parks coming wide to the edge of the box. Here goes Ashlyn Puerta. Firing one forward. Chase back on by Jenna Butler. That'll be a throw for Sporting JAX from right in front of Phillip Poole. Jacksonville trying to find one over the top. Here's Bailey DeSmit on the run. DeSmit. An inside move. Bailey DeSmit. Shot on goal. Pumped away by Megan McClellan. The follow-up by Lester was high and wide. One of the rare opportunities there.
I think Lester had a little more time than she thought. But wow, this is a great turn and ability to drive inside by Bailey DeSmit. She tries to wrap it. Far post. Great save by McClellan. And again, that first timer on the rebound by Leicester probably could have settled it and then looked to shoot.
Remember, this is a player in Leicester who's played most of the season as a defender, now playing as a wingback here in the second half.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like wide receiver versus DB. We're like, that's why you're a DB.
More substitutions coming for Sporting JAX. Jesse Hunt and Jade Pennick ready to come on. Hunt. Let's see. They're trying to get the numbers right. Bailey DeSmit and Ashlyn Puerta come off as Hunt and Pennick come on. So a forward and a attacking mid come off, and a forward and a versatile midfielder come on.
Yeah, you know, that was a great opportunity there right at the end, but I do think putting some fresh legs in for the attacking part of this game, what's left of it, is probably a good shout right now.
Pennick has scored 2 goals for Sporting JAX, including the first goal in club history. That came back on August the 23rd against DC Power. And Hunt has really started to assert herself here lately, including a beautiful assist on an Andrea Fernandez goal in the final game of the first half.
You know, Pennick's a veteran. She has certainly played in these conditions.
Yes, most of her career in England.
And I'd love to see her sort of come into this role and be able to provide a spark here. I'm sure that's what Stacey Balem's looking for, too.
Another whistle. And Pennick is one of 2 players on the roster over 30 years of age. She's 32 and has a long history with Stacey Balem. Was recruited in college by Balem and then wound up being coached by her later. And most recently, before coming to Jacksonville, she won a championship in Australia with Central Coast Mariners, where she scored 7 goals in 27 matches. So she is a forward who likes to be a goal scorer. See if she can find one here in the final 8 minutes plus of regulation time. For now, it's the corner coming for Carolina Ascent, and this time it's the right footer Brianna Martinez to take one. Another in-swinger coming up off a corner kick.
Dangerous time of the match for any set pieces.
High ball, not touched by anyone. Tapped ahead momentarily. It'll be a throw for Carolina.
A little bit better job that time for Sporting JAX to get the ball out of the box. And it looked like they were going to try to go quick, but this might be a relatively long throw that they're trying to set up here.
The throw coming for Carolina, this one closer to the corner flag. 83rd minute in Jacksonville in what has been a highly competitive match. Yet to find a goal. Kenzie George pushed down by Phil Potts, and it will be a virtual junior corner coming here from just outside the box. This is a very dangerous position.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a tough foul to give up. She had her back to goal. There was a double team there, but probably not great communication on the double. Now we're left with a really, really dangerous free kick for Carolina at this stage of the match.
See what Aguilera does here. Right into the traffic, sent back out. Aguilera swings it back toward the spot, headed away by Jacksonville. Kick back in. Mia Corbin has it. Again sent toward the spot. Again sent away by the Sporting JAX defense. And now Pennick will carry it away as Nabet tried to grab her. Pennick tried to play one out wide. Racing on to it's Jesse Hunt. Now to Grace Philpotts, who's come a long way forward. Meg Hughes. Sophie Jones. Here's Jones. Philpotts. Little side foot to Jesse Hunt. Hunt toward the penalty spot. Headed once. Then Pennick sends it in. There's Jade Pennick delivering. The veteran finds the net, and Sporting JAX has the lead.
Man, that looks like a great substitution by Stacey Bailiff. As we were just talking about, the veteran presence of Pennick to be able to be in the right spot at the right time, and a great service in the box. Dangerous, dangerous ball that she's able to just bury.
Take another look here. Jesse Hunt doing the work.
That knockdown by Kenton, the knockdown by Kenton really is what sets it up.
And that will be a 6th assist of the season for Paige Kenton, which pushes her to the top of the assist leaders in the Gainbridge Super League. 3rd goal of the year for Jade Pennick, and the substitutes continue to deliver for Sporting JAX. And another sub coming as Katie Sullivan is going to come in, replacing Julia Lester, who will sit down for the first time all year. And she's still kind of feeling that left arm after the earlier foul.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's a little bit more in response to the potential injury versus, the ability to take her out sitting on a yellow. But I don't know, with 5 minutes left in this one, I would love her veteran defensive presence, even out wide, higher up the field. But certainly there's more information out there than we know right now.
And Sullivan has been so good of late. Another player who's really developed over the course of the season. She'll play on that right wing. Sporting JAX now has 4 minutes plus any stoppage time. We mentioned that one might be enough. Now Sporting JAX has to prove that that's right.
Well, on the bench, it looked like Lester was having a bit of a problem getting that jacket on, so I think it might have been the shoulder issue.
Aguilera coming forward. Swings one in. Corbin tried to redirect with a header. Couldn't get it swung around enough. It'll be a goal kick for Sporting JAX.
Still a dangerous ball in. Corbin was pretty open to get a free header inside, just outside the 6. Now, this is going to be a fight to the finish here.
Well, after this one, Sporting JAX will be back home next week as they'll take on DC Power. It's the Lift Every Voice night. For tickets, call 904-863-KICK or scan that QR code on your screen. I would say it would be better weather, but who knows these days? Shouldn't be as windy.
I think it can only get better.
Yep. Now an opportunity for Carolina. Both forward and wide. Mackenzie George. Meg Hughes D'ing her up. And Hughes able to clear it out for the moment. Aguilera sends it toward goal. And the one hop covered by Caitlin Parks. There are a couple more Carolina Ascent players looking to try to get into this game if they have the opportunity. Another high kick that goes out near the halfway line.
I think we're going to see Aguilera continue to attack. She's been a real threat in this game offensively. And there's no doubt that they're going to continue to do that because now they're chasing this, and why not?
Adriana Martinez comes out. Addison Merrick comes in for Carolina along with Emily Morris. Merrick, a former Kansas Jayhawk.
And a Utah Royal.
There we go.
And a KC Current.
Free kick coming here, 89th minute.
This is going to be a really good opportunity for Sporting JAX to buckle down defensively, but also for Carolina to see what they're made of here. They probably feel like they've done a great job in this half, creating opportunities for themselves and dominating the possession. And right now they're coming up empty.
Aguilera. from long range. Sent over the top and wide. Good opportunity there, well set up. But Morris could not convert, the former Wake Forest teammate of Caitlin Parks.
Yeah, you could hear teammates yelling, check your shoulders, and certainly got snuck in behind a little bit on that back post. It's going to be the MO of Carolina the rest of this half, is just dumping balls in the box and seeing if they can make something happen.
Caitlin Parks again, sends one high.
You know there's going to be a bit of stoppage time with the amount of substitutions we've had.
We're hearing 4 minutes of stoppage time coming as we near the 90th minute mark. This one bouncing. Corbin in the box, cut off by Meg Hughes. Got in just enough to trickle it out. 4 minutes of stoppage time coming. Can Sporting JAX defend for 4 minutes?
It's going to feel like an eternity for Sporting JAX, and it's going to go by like crazy quick for Carolina.
Throw for Sporting JAX here.
You know, the challenge here is you slow the game down, but it allows Carolina to also really prep their press. Well done for Sporting JAX to get past that.
Kenton running toward it.
I think we've got 6 forwards playing now for Carolina.
This one over the top. Illig gets to it. Philpott sends it back. Back into the wash. Out wide for George. Bowman. And poke forward for Kenton. And Jesse Hunt.
It's it!
1 minute of stoppage time plus gone. Navette with the throw. Philpott's defending for Sporting JAX. Now Pennick, the goal scorer. Right into Jesse Hunt. Headed forward for Corbin. Couldn't get to it. Cut off there by the Jacksonville defense. And here's Stacey Balaam saying, come on, ladies, keep going.
Dribble.
Here's Katie Sullivan. Playing it forward nearly halfway through stoppage time. Remember, it's a minimum of 4 minutes.
These balls out wide with service in behind are the ones that are super dangerous.
Now toward the goal, over the head of everybody, and on through.
Again, Sporting JAX trying to slow it down here a little bit. But look at the press. Look at the setup of Carolina here. They're just going to jump on anything that's played in.
Kenton trying to body up. Now Mackenzie George for Carolina. Looks to swing one in. Headed down. And then Pennick able to draw the foul.
Veteran move there to get her body in between the ball. Draw the foul, take a little time off the clock. That's why you have 32-year-olds on your team.
That's right. Well, again, it goes back to that roster building conversation we had. As young as the Sporting JAX roster has been, there are some veterans in there. And Pennick making the veteran not just play, but plays since coming on as a sub. Carolina with at least a chance for one more charge here to try to get the equalizer. Played high over the top. Caitlin Parks at her feet. Finally able to grab it. Wants to spend as much time with the ball as possible. Sporting JAX has talked about in the past defending with the ball. Now a giveaway. Well defended by Sophie Jones. We'll send it ahead for Jessie Hunt, who wins a throw for Jacksonville. Well done by Hunt. Nearing the end of stoppage time. Referee blows the whistle, and that's how it ends. Sporting JAX 1, Carolina Ascent 0. The first place team begins the second half with a victory.
Looks like we've got a little bit of an injury right at the death there. That's a terrific win for Sporting JAX. I'm sure disappointing to come up empty for Carolina. You know, Philip Poole talked about the opportunities that they've created and not being able to capitalize on some of those opportunities, and that's a little bit of a trend that's continuing in the second half for them.
Yeah, this is a Carolina team that came in scoreless in the last 2 matches, now 3 straight scoreless for Carolina. And for Sporting JAX, a low-scoring game for the top goal-scoring team of the league, but it was enough. 1-0 on the Jade Pennick goal. We'll hear from the goal scorer when we come back. Sporting JAX 1, Carolina Ascent 0. To start the second half of the season in the Gainbridge Super League, Sporting JAX takes 3 points at home.
Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues. Proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
At ViStar Credit Union, we know life's a journey. Birthday parties turn to wedding parties. There are first steps and missteps. Just know ViStar is there with banking made for moments big and small. A home where a family grows, or that convertible for the open road. It's a journey we are on together. It's why we support hundreds of local nonprofits, volunteer throughout the Southeast, and simply care. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, great at assists. Gainbridge, great at assists for your savings.
This is Jen from The Morning Show, your go-to problem solver. She even got a shout-out from this nice lady. This is Bruce, who knows the importance of covering breaking news until it's safe. He knows this because he has 7 kids he worries about. And here's Weather Authority Katie, tracking severe weather minute by minute. And she always lets you know the best time to walk your dog. Together, they kickstart your day right on The Morning Show, only on News 4 JAX and News 4 JAX Plus.
Sporting JAX a victor, 1-0 over Carolina Ascent. Open up the second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. Jade Pennick, the goal scorer. Just as she did to start the season, she scores here to clinch the win for Sporting JAX. Jade, thanks for joining us. Congratulations. Walk us through the goal. It felt like whichever team found the net the first was going to walk away with 3 points.
Yeah, I think it's just about staying alive in the box. When the ball bounced, I just sort of pounced on it first, and yeah, I'm happy it went in the back of the net.
You've also had your role change and switch throughout the course of the year. You've been able to handle that like a pro, like a vet, but you have to be ready to come in at any moment. What's the preparation like for you, knowing you're going to be coming on, say, in the last half hour?
Yeah, like I said, it's just about staying switched on, taking the opportunity when it comes. Obviously, I want to help the team in any way I can, so if it's coming off the bench, then that's what I'm going to do, and hopefully I can get more goals along the way.
Hey, Jade, how does it feel to take this team that, ended the first half on such a high and start it on such a high again going into the second half?
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, we wanted to continue what we did before the break. Difficult conditions today, so we battled through, and lucky to get the 3 points.
All right, Jay, looking ahead now, you've got 2 more home matches before you go on the road. How important are those 2 matches here at Hodges Stadium?
Yeah, big. We love playing at home. We love playing in front of our fans. We can hear them the whole way through. Just happy we've got 2 more home games before we're on the road again.
All right, Jade, go get warm. Thanks so much. Congratulations on the goal tonight.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's Jade Pennick, who had the goal tonight as Sporting JAX gets the victory. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights. 35th minute, our save of the game presented by Pepsi, turned in by Caitlin Parks with a kick save and a beauty off the diving header.
Absolutely beautiful save there. Game changer for sure.
There were some chances, a few of them, throughout the course of the match. 79th minute. Look at the action here. Bailey DeSmit, just tenacious staying with it, gets a shot up and nearly puts it away. But again, another save on that end by Megan McClellan, who had a very solid game for Carolina Ascent.
She really put a great curl on that to hit to the far post, but terrific save by McClellan.
Then the 85th minute, this was the difference maker. Jesse Hunt able to maintain possession. Got it in. Paige Kenton nods it down. And there was Pennick. Right place, right time, right delivery. And the goal, her 3rd of the season, to give Sporting JAX the 1-0 victory. And they continue to keep some of that momentum. They've now won 5 of their last 6, with the other result being a draw. You see the stats there. Possession favoring Sporting JAX tonight. Pretty even on corners. Dead even on shots, but when it counted, Jade Pennick delivered for Sporting JAX. We will have more for our local viewers coming up straight ahead. For those watching on Peacock, we'll say goodnight. Next time for Sporting JAX taking on DC Power, a week from tonight, a 5 o'clock kickoff against DC. First place Sporting JAX continues to get it done in the Gainbridge Super League.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for JAX, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting JAX.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues, proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Greetings from Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida. Here, you'll find flip-flops and cowboy boots, sushi and soul food, surfers and skaters, Mozart and monster trucks, beachgoers and townies. Find art galleries and city murals, funky neighborhoods, and historic districts. Spend the day on the river or at the beach, in the park or on the trail, at the game or on the green. On the flip side, anything is possible, except running out of things to do. Learn more at visitjacksonville.com.
News for JAX is all about community.
Very good to see you. It's local voices and stories that matter most.
Always connecting, always listening, searching for solutions, and getting answers to the questions you care about most.
We've always got your back.
News 4 JAX and News 4 JAX Plus, Jacksonville's most watched newscast.
Well, under a full moon, Sporting JAX at the witching hour got the goal from Jade Pennick, the 85th minute, a 1-0 victory over Carolina Ascent. Now 6 unbeaten for Sporting JAX. Let's hear from the head coach, Stacey Balaam. Stacey, you mentioned this week that you're miserable in the cold, so we appreciate you standing out there through the break. But getting a late goal has to make it a little warmer down on the Sporting JAX bench.
Yeah, we didn't know, if that was going to come. We were pinned in to our own half pretty much the whole 45 minutes. I mean, the wind was really difficult for us to get out. Carolina Ascent did a really good job of applying a lot of pressure on us, and we needed to make some changes. We felt like we needed a spark, and recently our bench has come up big for us, which it did tonight.
We mentioned your long association with Jade Pennick, and she started the year as a starter. You've used her in a different role, and she's handled it so well. And what a great time to have her in the match and delivering in the 85th.
Yeah, she's an unbelievable pro. She knows, her role at this point, and, she's just willing to do whatever she can to contribute for the team.
Stacey, how do you feel about the choppiness of that second half that you mentioned, your team not really being able to get sustained possession, which is your identity? How do you think you managed to deal with that and come away with the win?
Well, a big focus a lot has been on the defensive side of our game since we came back into the new year, because we know that, we've conceded a lot of goals this season already, and I think that the team did an amazing job of really digging in when they needed to and focusing on the defensive side, because we weren't able to get a hold of the ball for long periods of time.
You've talked in the past about wanting your team to be gritty and combative. I think we saw that tonight. How will that benefit you going forward now into the second half?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be games that it's going to be a scrap, and we're going to have to really do the dirty work, and I think that part of our game is coming out of us now. I mean, Sophie Jones led the charge with that tonight. I thought she was amazing at winning tackles and recovering the ball for us and putting her body on the line.
Stacey, thanks so much. Congratulations on the victory. Stay top of the table here as you look ahead to next week.
Thanks, guys.
That's Stacey Balaam, the head coach of Sporting JAX. And, boy, again, we've seen just in this series with Carolina, 2-2 draws with it going back and forth, 4-3 with all kinds of goals, and out tonight 1-0. The fact that Sporting JAX has shown that they can win in all these different ways really says something about an expansion team.
And I think it just builds the confidence of a young team to show that you can be a choppy game, you can have the possession not go your way, but still do as well as they did.
All right, well, let's check in down on the field once again. Paige Kenton going to join us now, who had the assist today. Paige, congratulations on the win. Walk us through that moment as Jessie Hunt sent that ball your way.
Yeah, I mean, Jessie's ball was outstanding. I don't think I tell her enough, but she's just a player who makes everyone around her look better. She's so easy to play with. So when that came in, I kind of just knew I had to get a piece of it. I lost track of it for a second there behind someone's head, but just got a piece of it. And then Jade's a class finisher. She's always going to put that away and try to poach that. So it was just outstanding for both of them.
Well, we can hear and see the wind right now. It was such a factor in the game. What was it like to play in this wind and this cold?
It was just crazy. I'm super proud of the team for getting it done. We had to just adapt to the conditions, and I'm proud of us kind of gutting out a win tonight.
Paige, you've seen so many contributions by reserves on your team. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think it's outstanding, and I feel like if you guys could sit in on practice, it's not unexpected. Like, it's so competitive in practice. Everybody does so well. Like, on any given day, it could be a different person scoring, assisting. So I think we have full faith in everybody on this team to come in and get the job done.
Paige, one of the big things that we talked about in the last couple of weeks as the team got back to training was how the momentum would be carried forward. Do you have a grade now on how the momentum was carried forward?
Yeah, I think we just try to take it game by game, and so it's easy to get wrapped up in a whole nother 4 months and trying to stay at the top, but we just talked this week about focusing in on this game and just getting 3 points out of tonight and then continuing the momentum from there. So.
Well, Paige, congratulations. You're now atop the assist list in the Gainbridge Super League. Meg's going to try to catch you next time, but congratulations on the win, and go in and get warm now.
Thank you.
That's an easy thanks to get from anybody down there, as cold and chilly as it is. Let's take a look one more time at the highlights. And again, at any of these moments, the game could have changed. If Caitlin Parks doesn't get her foot on it there, we might be talking about a draw at best if it doesn't go the other way. We could also be talking about a game that could have been a completely different situation if Bailey DeSmith here was able to curl one in. Fine margins in this league.
Absolutely fine margins. And it just goes to show the quality and the level of play. Makes little things make a big difference.
And this is a Sporting JAX team that, as you mentioned, reserves have made a big impact for this team. And here's a reserve, Jesse Hunt, sending it into a starter. Paige Kenton, and off the bench and into the scorebook, Jade Pennick with the game winner.
Well, Pennick has just got such great instincts around the box. For her to be paying attention and tracking that ball off Paige Kenton's head, not a surprise that she put that away.
Sporting JAX with the win 1-0. Hey, it's a victory, it's 3 points, and the style points, if you like grit, you saw a lot of it here. The stats here will show you a little bit. A lot of fouls called in this game. 3 yellow cards in total. Sporting JAX with the best of possession, but the 1-0 victory over Carolina Ascent tonight. 3 games against Carolina, the team that was the top team of the regular season last year. Sporting JAX has earned 7 points from those 3 matches. Very, very impressive.
Absolutely, and that possession stat probably didn't really feel like that, particularly in the second half, and even Coach Stacey Balaam said the same thing. So for them to show the grit, get the win, big deal for Sporting JAX tonight.
All right, we'll take time out, come back with more on Sporting JAX. We'll look ahead to what's coming up in the Gainbridge Super League season and what to expect from the next 2 home matches here. That's straight ahead. Sporting JAX 1, Carolina Ascent 0 here at Hodges Stadium.
We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for JAX, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting JAX.
Make Honda of the Avenues your first stop for award-winning customer service and world-class Honda vehicles. Our inventory is bigger than ever, which means we have the perfect Honda waiting for you. Plus, at Honda of the Avenues, we always put our customers first, making the car buying experience fun, fast, and easy. Find great deals on our huge selection. Like this month, when you lease a 2026 CRV for just $229 a month, or lease a 2025 Accord for $219 a month. Come see just how different car buying can be at Honda of the Avenues, proud sponsor of Sporting JAX.
For more than 150 years, Ascension St. Vincent's has delivered award-winning compassionate care across Northeast Florida, with 4 hospitals, primary care offices, urgent care centers, and freestanding emergency departments throughout the region. From everyday wellness to advanced specialty care, including heart, cancer, orthopedics, brain and spine surgery, and women's health, we're here for you when you need us most. Get the care you count on, close to home. Learn more at ascension.org/St. Vincent's.
Greetings from Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida. Here, you'll find flip-flops and cowboy boots, sushi and soul food, surfers and skaters, Mozart and monster trucks, beachgoers and townies. Find art galleries and city murals, funky neighborhoods, and historic districts. Spend the day on the river or at the beach, in the park or on the trail, at the game or on the green. On the flip side, anything is possible, except running out of things to do. Learn more at visitjacksonville.com.
News for JAX is all about community.
Very good to see you. It's local voices and stories that matter most.
Always connecting, always listening, searching for solutions, and getting answers to the questions you care about most.
We've always got your back.
News 4 JAX and News 4 JAX Plus, Jacksonville's most watched newscast.
On a chilly night in Jacksonville, Sporting Jacks a 1-0 victory over Carolina Ascent. 6 games unbeaten for Sporting Jacks. They're atop the table, first place in their first season in the Gainbridge Super League. And they have not dropped a game to Carolina in 3 tries so far this year. Away from the pro pitch, what's happening as far as the youth system? Well, that's one thing that Sporting Jacks has spent a lot of time and effort on, developing players and also developing coaches. Mark Warburton, the head of soccer, among others, doing some coaching clinics these past couple of weeks, trying to improve the coaching in the area.
Tonight we're just going to hopefully educate the coaches, or help, not in a derogatory way. We're just going to give them some ideas about what they may do. We give them a curriculum of work. Many of the coaches have good ideas of their own, but we're just trying to give them some more ideas, different ways of delivering a drill, different language being used in terms of the instruction to the players, and hopefully it helps them. Players need the work. This is a global game. I know a lot of American sports fans won't like me saying that. It's the global game, and that is for a reason. And it's the demand is so high, and the technical level is so high, and we have to give our kids the best chance. So the work they're doing from 8, 9, 10, 11 is crucial to allow them to undertake the type of work we're going to do tonight.
And that's Mark Warburton. Our sideline reporter, Emerson Burris, tonight. She's under the weather, but earlier this week, Emerson got on the pitch to learn a little bit more about one of the key components of the game, that is corner kicks. Here's what she learned from Sophia Bowman.
All right, everyone, we are back with another skills feature this week. We're highlighting someone very prominent on the pitch. Not only does she run about 10 miles a game, she also takes most of our corners. The one and only Sophia Bowman. Bowman, tell me a little bit about what goes into a corner.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that you don't see that goes on behind the scenes. Matt, our goalkeeper coach, is also in charge of set pieces. So every game, we go over set pieces, different plans, both attacking and defensive. And then pre-game, we also make sure we do a lot of reps of those.
All right, I'm definitely a visual learner. Yeah. Why don't you show me a few examples, how you set the ball up and what goes into that?
Yeah, well, so since I'm a right-footed player, when I'm on this corner, so if you're looking at the opposite field on the right side, you want to put the ball on this side of the corner. If you're a left-footed player, you'd probably put it on the other side. Take my usual steps back and then decide where I'm going to hit it or just the general area. And that kind of depends game per game or what we planned. And then I was being aware of if we're going to play short or other plays we might have, keeping my eyes open for that. So it's pretty quick decision once you're on the ball.
To give one piece of advice to some kiddos looking to perfect their corners, what would that be?
Yeah, corners, because the ball's sitting flat and still every time, it's super easy to practice because the situation is the same in the game. You're always hitting it from the same area into the field. And obviously you can try different techniques and whatnot, but I'd say this is a really easy skill to practice because every game it's the same corner, the ball's not moving. So I would just go out to a field, bring a bag of balls and, practice swinging them in.
Bo, thanks so much for showing us about the corners. We look forward to seeing them the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You talk about the impact of having a pro women's team in Jacksonville, to have somebody like Sophia Bowman be able to coach up the kids on something like that, Becky. That's That's just a great moment.
Well, and it's great advice by her because set pieces are such a big part of the game. And to be able to go out and see somebody who can do it at a pretty high level, I think in general, Sporting JAX has been very effective with their set pieces. So I love getting the advice.
All right, more to come. We'll wrap things up and look ahead when we come back to Hodges Stadium after Sporting JAX opens the second half with a victory.
Come on, Marshall, let's go. Marshall, no. Martian's here for daycare.
You obsess over him, and so do we. With daycare, overnight, and spa services, from the most trusted name in the game, Dogtopia. Better lives together.
At ViStar Credit Union, we know life's a journey. Birthday parties turn to wedding parties. There are first steps and missteps. Just know ViStar is there with banking made for moments big and small. A home where a family grows, or that convertible for the open road. It's a journey we are on together. It's why we support hundreds of local nonprofits, volunteer throughout the Southeast, and simply care. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Jacksonville, it's here! Women's Pro Soccer has arrived. Sporting JAX women, fast, fierce, unstoppable. History is being made. Don't just hear about it, live it. Come cheer on your city's very own team as they look to make this season one to remember. Get your tickets now at sportingjax.com.
Welcome back to Hodges Stadium here on the UNF campus after a 1-0 Sporting JAX victory over Carolina Ascent to start the second half of the season. We'll talk more about what's to come for Sporting JAX on the women's side, but Becky, really want to talk for a moment about what's happening on the men's side. The men's team now into training camp. They're heading down to Sarasota to train with some other teams as well coming up this next week. And it's just around the corner, February 21st for the first preseason game here at home, and then March 7th, they'll kick off in the USL Championship. There's a high bar that's been set by the women. The men are going to have to try to keep up.
That is true. I mean, it's been a long time coming, but it's also like, wow, it is here for the men's team to start. What an exciting time to be a soccer fan in the city of Jacksonville.
No doubt about it. We will see how everything matches up, but we can tell you that right now season tickets are available by calling 904-863-KICK or by going to sportingjax.com. The men will play here at Hodges Stadium as well in the inaugural season. As for the women, let's look forward again one more time and take a look at what is to come. 2 more home games here to start the second half of the season for the women, Becky. Next week, again, taking on a DC Power team that beat Sporting JAX here on this pitch to open the season. Maybe a little bit of residual feeling there. The Sporting JAX certainly playing at a much higher level now than they were on August the 23rd.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to see progress. When you play a team that you've played way, way, way back at the beginning of the season, and then you get to see them again, it's a good measuring stick, I think.
They did go to D.C. Sporting JAX and got a victory later in that first half of the season. Then for the first time, Sporting JAX will face Spokane Zephyr. This is a team that's going to have to travel a long way to get here, but Spokane last year had great success. They've seen their roster change quite a bit, but should be a great test.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one, too, because we haven't seen them yet. And to be able to be in a position to play a team that's going to present some new challenges to you only can help this team grow.
One of the best keepers in the Gainbridge Super League on that team in Hope Heisey as well. Then on the road, right now, Lexington is in second place. Sporting JAX leapfrogged them the last day of the first half of the season. Lexington has not lost a match so far. Now, that could change between now and February 21st, but that'll be a big game on the road.
That's a pretty impressive stat by Lexington. You know, they've had a coaching change. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, added and subtracted a few players, but still, that's going to be a barn burner.
And then a chance to play another Florida rival once again, Fort Lauderdale United for the third time. These two have had some battles. Fort Lauderdale's had some roster changes in the meantime as well. We'll see if they look any different this time around.
Yeah, these Florida games, they just have a little more on the line, I think. There's a good rivalry feel to them, and I'm excited about playing them again.
Well, it is as good a start as you can imagine from a result standpoint and from a grit and determination standpoint, with Sporting JAX taking the 1-0 victory tonight over Carolina Ascent. Becky, we've talked about what could be. The players and coaches talking about is taking it one game at a time. But the future is very bright right now for Sporting JAX.
100%. I mean, to start off this season is really, really important. This part of the season with a victory, it just feels like a carryover from the first half.
Well, it was a rarity. Snowflakes flurrying around Jacksonville, but it was not a rarity in that Sporting JAX got the win. 1-0 over Carolina Ascent. For Becky Burley and our entire crew, Cole Pepper saying thanks for watching and good night from Hodges Stadium.